Okay, I want to welcome everybody to this Lil Shovavim Tikkun that we're doing over here at David Chai Synagogue. I want to thank our good friend Adam and all the sponsors for setting up this beautiful spread. I want to thank our good friend Michael for putting this whole thing together. This was just a thought just 24 hours ago, and Baruch Hashem gave us big siyata d'shmaya that we're able to sit over here with a spread that's so big and so fancy, and that we're able to sit over here and do some tikkunim for ourselves and for Klal Yisrael. Be'ezrat Hashem, that this studying that we do tonight will be to refuah shlema for Shmuel ben Amuma, David ben Zohara, Avraham ben Alia, Amram ben Isha, Rabbi Yeshaya Pito ben Rabbanit Zari, Rabbi Yafet ben Chana, ben Zion ben Zecharia, and also Lahavdil, Leilui Nishmat, Shalom ben Zecharia, Vesara bat Yoshua. Okay, Shovavim. What is Shovavim? What is this time period called Shovavim? Basically, Shovavim is Rashi Tevot. It's just the first letters from the 6 parashiyot that we start, which is Shemot, Va'era, Bo, Beshalach, Yitro, Mishpatim. From Shemot to Mishpatim, that's what Shovavim is. If you take the first letter from each one of those parashiyot, that's how you get the word Shovavim. The rabbis tell us that this is a Kabbalistic time that is very auspicious, means it has a lot of segulot to fixing the Brit. Tikkun HaBrit. This time is very unique and very special for Tikkun HaBrit. You should know that this month, these 2 months of Tevet and Shvat, they're very hard months. They're negative months. These are months that typically a person has to be careful and watch out. They say a person who doesn't watch out for himself in these 2 years, God forbid, can get hurt. But of course, that's according to astrology. We are above the mazal. As practicing Jews, we don't fall under that. But it's something that you should know, that these are hard months. Why is Shovavim during Shemot till Mishpatim? How come it's not in a different book? Why it's not Bereshit till Vayigash? Why is it not in a different book? Why is it specifically this time, these parashiyot? The Arizal tells us it's because it's Tikkun HaKeri of Adam HaRishon. Alright, let's go back to Adam. At one point, he separated from his wife, and it was a period of 130 years. During that period of 130 years, he immersed himself in a river. While he was in a river, in a sleeping state, there is the female version of the Yetzer Hara, which is the Lamed Yud, and we're not going to continue. And she would come to him at night, and she would force him to spill seed. And from those seeds, Nitzotzot would come out, and it would create the Shedin and Ruchin. Bad spirits. Bad angels, you could say. So these sparks from Adam HaRishon were lost. The repair or the fixing or the tikkun of what happened with Adam HaRishon happened in Mitzrayim. It happened during the time of the Galut Mitzrayim, when the Jewish people were slaves in Mitzrayim. That's when the Jews were there and they were picking up the Nitzotzot of Adam HaRishon. So if you think about it, the time of the Jews being slaves in Egypt is what? Shemot, Va'era, Bo, Beshalach, Yitro, Mishpatim. What does Mishpatim start off? No. Eved Ivri. What happened? In Mishpatim already we got freed. We had Yetziat Mitzrayim. We got the Aseret HaDibrot on Har Sinai. And Moshe now is opening up with the Mishpatim. So the minute it mentions Eved Ivri, we know that we're already freed people. So we know that the whole process of the tikkun of the Arizal that's saying about Adam HaRishon got finished during that time. Now there's no more tikkun. The Jews are free. So because it's connected to the Jews being slaves in Egypt and the tikkun, that's why we say these particular parashiyot and not any other time. What is the purpose of Shovavim? What is the purpose of it? Bityuk. The purpose of Shovavim is Tikkun and Tshuva. 2 parts. We're going to visit each one separately and we'll go into detail. So the tikkun that we're doing, first of all, what is a tikkun? Tikkun is fixing. That's the literal translation, fixing. What are we fixing? You should know, the Jews, that's their purpose in life. We are in this world for nothing else but to fix this world. If you look at the Sephardic Siddur, it's this thick. Half of it is Hashem Yechud Kudsha B'Yichu Shchinteh. Why? We're constantly doing the tikkun before each beracha, before each prayer, before each of the Hashem Yechud, Hashem Yechud. We're constantly trying to fix what's going on. We are here to fix. Right now, we're doing a tikkun. And it's a tikkun for this life, what we ruined in this time that we're here, and for previous lives. And I'll take it even further, and for the olamot that we damaged. Keep in mind, every action that we do either repairs or betters a world, or ruins or damages a world. There's a lot of other olamot above us that we're all connected to, and our actions have everything to do with them being complete, whole, or being destroyed. The purpose of the tikkun is we're trying to fix the spilling of the seed, whether it was willingly, unwillingly, or while it was in your sleep. In other words, there's several ways that you can have this the spilling of the seed again, and these three different ways that it can happen is what we're here to fix. The spilling of the seed, and I keep on saying it because that's exactly what it's all connected to. These are sexual blemishes. These are sexual blemishes that create distance between us and our Creator. The more we have a history with our brit or tikkun brit or with the yesod, the more we have distance. It's the one thing that brings us closer. As a matter of fact, they say that Hashem hates zima. Zima is sexual impurity. He can't stand it.
Do we ask questions, or is this?
We could, but let me lay out the groundwork, and then we could go at it as much as you want all night.
There's a lot of Q&A coming.
Yeah, the brit is actually connected to a person's mazal. How is the brit connected to a person's mazal? They say, what's the word mazal? Motzi zera lebatala. Wow. A person that spills his seed, it's either it's connected to his brit. In other words, if he's going to be lucky, it all depends. If a person is doing whatever he wants to do to try to be successful, if he's doing that, no mazal. No mazal. It's in the word. What's the result of this action? What happens when a person wastes his seed? Very, very interesting. The rabbis tell us the person starts to develop dark circles under his eyes. The person starts to have gray hair at a very young age. No.
Don't look at him.
They say that.
But you married already. Don't look at him. Forget it.
And that's not connected to that. As a matter of fact, I can tell you that one time I saw this because I knew the guy personally, and I knew that he was partaking in these actions, and I saw it. And none of you have that look. None of you have that look. It's a tired, leathery look under the eyes. It's gray hairs at a very young age, and it's not because of stress or anything like that. You can just see that it's connected to that. I guarantee you tzaddikim. It's nothing what we see here today. They also say that the person ages rapidly. What happened? It's almost like old age creeps up on him. It's like you see him, oh, he looks fine. All of a sudden, the guy at 40, 50 years old, boom, looks like he's 60, 70. It's connected to that. He also, his body becomes weak right away, like it ages his body. It creates neshamot with no bodies. When you spill the seed, what happens? You have to understand the seed is part one of getting another human being into the world. It goes into a woman, becomes an embryo, becomes into a child. When it doesn't go through that process, there's still a soul in that seed. Now, it's just a soul without a body. So what happens? It doesn't have an Abba and an Ima. It only has an Abba. So what does it do? It becomes a spirit. And it's a spirit that becomes a mazikin. It's a type of spirit that comes and says, hey, you created me, feed me. Give me sustenance. How? The same tum'ah that you brought me, give me more. That's how I live. You don't want to give me more tum'ah? I'm going to give you roadblocks. I'm going to give you a hard time until I break you down.
That's why it's the Mazal.
Yeah. I'm going to start giving you a hard time. And all of a sudden the person says, man, everywhere I go, I'm hitting a wall. I can't find a woman to marry. I can't make money. I have no luck with this. I have no luck with that. Why? It's all connected. Why? You created them. And right now, as long as if you're feeding them, they're like, okay, keep falling. But if you don't feed them, they say, okay, then we're going to give you a hard time. Mezikin.
Okay.
Shalom Aleichem. And the Mezikin create roadblocks for people. Now, what causes a person to spill the seed? Let's go a little bit deeper. We spoke about right now what's the result, what happens. But what causes a person to spill the seed? This I got from the book of Rabbi Pinto. He went into it in detail, really, really beautiful. I'm giving you just a small tidbit of what's in that book. But this is mostly I got from there. It says the causes that a person gets to spill the seed. Number one, nedarim. The guy makes promises, he doesn't keep them.
Yeah, mamash.
Okay? Imagine the guy makes a neder, he doesn't keep it, he spills the seed. Whether you like it or not, that's what's going to cause it. Something else. He reveals the razin of the Torah. He reveals secrets of the Torah. So the guy says, you know what, let me reveal a secret to you. Something that I heard. Now, again, when you're amongst tzaddikim and you're sharing Torah and it brings it up and it's mechazek, it's proper. But when a guy is in his office and the guy tells him, you know what, I never understood this about the Jewish people. And the guy all of a sudden reveals a deep secret from the Kabbalah. To the goy. Don't reveal secrets of the Torah. That causes the person to spill a seed. A person that looks at Avodah Zarah. The guy's looking at the statue of J.C. Penney. He's passing by a store that sells Buddhas, whatever. He's telling, oh wow, look at that, so nice. So look at that, it causes to spill the seed.
Wow.
This is something very, very intense because this is possibly something that we all fail in. A person that talks dvarim betelim and letzanut. You know, constantly talking nonsense, you're the joker in the crowd. So the rabbis tell us even that causes the spilling of the seed. Foreign thoughts. All of a sudden, okay, you know, you start thinking about one thing leads to the other. Before you know it, you're there. What are you doing? Those foreign thoughts cause the spilling of the seed. Keep in mind, whatever you think throughout the day, in the nighttime, rewind. And the rewind comes, and then the Mezikin say, okay, do I have a chance to bother him tonight or not?
Like dimyonot.
As well. Milky foods at night. If you eat things cheesy, dairy food at night, it causes also to spill the seed. Overeating as well. You have to be very careful sometimes that you don't overeat. Sometimes when you overeat, the body is already in that gluttonous state.
אז מה קורה בשבת? שבת אנחנו עוברים מה אנחנו רוצים או לא רוצים.
No, before you go to sleep.
Even listen, what you have to do. I mean, we'll get to the point how you save yourself from that, even when you overeat. But the point is not. The rabbis tell us some people do fall for that. Maybe you don't. Maybe I don't. Maybe he doesn't. But maybe there's a few guys that do. Where is it from? It's from this. The rabbis tell us also.
בקטע של חזירות כבר.
כן, זה גורם כבר כאילו.
הכוונה בקטע של חזירות, שבן אדם לא צריך לאכול, הוא אוכל בגלל שהוא...
מספק את היצר שלו.
כן.
So this is the continuation of the Yetzer. Great point. It's a continuation of the Yetzer. They say that not saying the berachot properly also causes it. I know the guy says Baruch Atah, you know, and the Hashem's name was into it, or even the other day, I was listening to a guy pray. He said the word in the Amidah Baruch 19 times. I heard it twice. All the other time was Buch, 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 Buchata, Buchata. What is that? Buchta, Buchta.
Yeah.
You have to say the words. So the rabbis tell us you don't pray properly, you don't say the words properly, you don't say the blessings properly. It causes that as well. Machloket causes a person to spill the seeds. Try to keep the peace. Now, what's interesting, those are some of the reasons that might bring a person to spill the seed. Now we said it's all a tikkun. We're trying to fix. Part of the tikkun.
Is it the main one, Shmirat Einayim? Like, is it out?
It's here.
Oh, yeah.
It's part 2. So over here we have over here the second part. We did the tikkun, the teshuvah. What's tikkun? Tikkun, okay, you understand. You're here. You're doing all the things to activate. And we're going to go into it. What are the things that a person does during the time of Shovavim to do the tikkun? But what is the true definition of tshuva? The true definition of tshuva is modeh ve'ozev yerucham. A person that admits that he did something wrong, ve'ozev, leaves it behind, I'm not doing it anymore, yerucham. Hashem says, I have mercy on you. That's the formula. This formula, you get to activate it a lot in the time of Selichot, right before Rosh Hashanah, Kippur. It says it there 1,000 times. Modeh ve'ozev yerucham. Admit it. He did something wrong. Admit it. First step. Azov, leave it behind. I'm not going to do it again. Moving forward in a new direction, you get mercy from Hashem. Okay? So first step is you have to admit. You have to leave it behind and you have to start fresh. You have to activate the mercy. So how does it work? By stopping that type of behavior, you're actually changing your behavior and you're changing your identity. You're becoming a different person. Now, how do you change your behavior? I'll give you some examples that are relevant to nowadays. Let's start with the internet. It's so easy. You go online, I'm reading the news. You scroll a little bit to the bottom, there it is. A little click on the side. All of a sudden, I'm looking to go at sports. You go to sports, you go a little bit further down, there she is. Right there on the picture. And then all of a sudden, I just want to see the best vacation spots in the world. You click on it, all of a sudden, there it goes. That's all they need. The eyes just needed to go in here. You're in trouble. So how do you do it? Change the behavior. Maybe don't go on the internet. What is it that you so really get there? Usually people use the internet. Use it for business. Use it to make parnasa. Do you really need to know every score and everything that's happening in the world? Believe me, most of the things that are happening in the world, you're not so interested in. You're just killing time online. We'll talk about taking some things upon ourselves later on. When you go on groups, how many people were on the WhatsApp group? They send videos. Sometimes when you see the video, it's a black screen. What does it have? The triangle. Press play. Whoa. Do you know what's there? And I'll tell you, I fell for it. I was on a super ultra religious group. I said, okay, in this group should be okay. I press play, and over there was dirty content. There was dirty content. And people shambled the guy on the phone. What are you doing? How can you put this over here? Have you no shame? But the truth is, even on the groups, you don't have to press play on everything that comes up. Protect your eyes. It says about Avraham Avinu, Avraham Vaisa et einav. No group. It says, why does it say Avraham, if you look in Bereshit, many times, Vaisa et einav, Vaisa et einav, Vaisa et einav. Why is it all the time? Why is he always lifting his eyes? They say Avraham Avinu, shomer enayim. He wouldn't, I'm walking, whatever comes in my eyes is good. All I need to see is 4 steps ahead of me. He used to walk like this. When it was a reason to pick up his eyes, he picked up his eyes. Otherwise, he stays down. Imagine, even if we walk on the street, anything can come in. Anything can come into our eyes. Are we protecting Shmirat Einayim the way it's supposed to? I'm telling you, it's very, very hard. Especially for people that work with people in groups, in retail, stuff like that. It's very, very hard. In the Sea of Tumah, yeah. So
in New York, okay, half of the year you're good.
But we're in Shovavim. We want to wake it up over here. Let's talk tonight and wake it up, and whatever happens from here, Be'ezrat Hashem na'aleh v'natzliach. But that's what we're trying to do. So we talk about Shmirat Einayim. How about Shmirat Negiyah? Shmirat Negiyah, a lot of times, is very difficult. Why? There's people that can do it, and there's some people that are not comfortable doing it. And there's people that want to do it, and then, like, for example, I'll give an example for myself. I'm not going to talk for anybody else, I'll talk for myself. I work in retail. All day long, people want to shake my hands. Thank you very much. Hello, how you doing? Nice to meet you. What are you going to do? I started to explain, no, I'm sorry, I don't touch women. Wow, the story. One lady's like, oh, amazing, I wish my boyfriend was like that. Another one's like, oh, explain to me your religion. After once, twice, three times, on the fifth month, you're like, oh, the chilak. I can't. Naim, exactly. That's what happened.
No, that's what I do. I shake hands every day.
So that's what I did. Also, I felt back, but then I said to myself when Shovavim started again, I said, whoa. Who's paying my paycheck? She's paying my paycheck, or Hashem is paying my paycheck? So, good friend of mine, give me a good tip. Excuse me, I'm a germaphobe. I don't shake.
That's good.
Well, I'm sick.
I'm a germaphobe.
Not feeling well.
In
They
other
always
words,
thank you for that.
In other words, okay, germaphobe. They respect that. You want my sanitizer? For that they're okay. But it stopped that whole thing for me. And now, Baruch Hashem, maybe I'm on the road to Shmirat Negiah again. It's another way to do it. Another thing is you got to take your desire, this desire for the tum'ah, this desire for the spilling of the seed, and rechannel it. You have to change it to something else. In other words, it takes up time. That whole giving it attention takes up time. What do you want to do? Take that time that's now available and redirect it into something else.
I used to go with gloves and I'm sorry my hands are dirty because the air
Yeah.
conditioning and stuff. I'm sorry my hands are dirty.
No,
I'm finding germaphobe is working lovely for me.
it's best.
So the combination of the tikkun that we're doing now, and we'll go into detail what is the tikkun that we do during Shovavim, and the teshuvah, both of them together, they're actually repairing past blemishes from the recent past, from the distant past, and from a previous life. Understand that this is not our first time around. We are here with spiritual baggage. Even though you can go through life saying, I have this education, I come from this family, and I have this job, and everything should be on the straight and narrow, and all of a sudden this Jerry Springer story comes on top of you out of nowhere. Like, hey, where did this story come from? The truth is, it does belong to your life, and it is connected to you, just not from this life. When you weren't here in the previous life, you were able to check 80% of the checklist. The 20% that left over, Hashem says, okay, come back down again, but you got to deal with this. That's your spiritual baggage that you're coming in. So sometimes there's an issue that you have to deal with that's not connected to your life, that you don't understand, that it's difficult for you, and you don't understand why you're dealing with it, and that's typically the part where people say, oh, why, I don't get. You don't have to get. Open up, understand that you have a tikkun from your previous life, finish it, tataken et zeh, and move on. How do you say? Move on to the next level. Basically, move on to the next level. All you want to do is, check it and move on. Because some of the things that are going to come in your life are not going to make sense at all. And they're not going to make sense. It's because they're connected to your previous life. Accept it. Know it. And sometimes a person comes and has difficulties with Tikkun HaBrit. Why? Because in a past life he had difficulties with Tikkun HaBrit. So again, he has to deal with it. So it's even harder for him. Because all of a sudden it's coming to him from before. He doesn't understand. How does this happen to me? Why am I wrestling with this issue? I don't want to. There's some people that actually don't want to deal with it. They have sickness and it's like, I don't want to deal with it. I'm an educated guy. I'm married. I'm this. Why am I having these Tikkun HaBrit issues? It's because you have it from your previous life and you have to deal with it. So you have to know that we're repairing blemishes in this life, like again, of the recent past, the distant past when we were teenagers, and of a previous life. Now, what are the tools for teshuvah? What are the tools? So here we are. It's a 6-week period. We are at the end of it. There's just a few days left. Be'ezrat Hashem, this is a class that will have its merit, that you'll remember it for next year, and we'll do it again, and maybe we'll do it on the first night of Shovavim. This exact same thing, Be'ezrat Hashem, on the first night, to give us a boost, to be completely connected to it. No, this is the עוד יומיים וזה נגמר.
למה כמה זמן זה?
6 שבועות.
כל יום צריך לעשות?
לא. זה רק חיזוק פה, זה חיזוק על השובבים. So what do? So the rabbis tell us there's a bunch of things that a person can do to really clean up the pipes, to really clean up all the baggage. Because what happens? You have to understand. When a person spills the seed, it's not one mezik, one lonely guy. It's hundreds, sometimes thousands. You're creating thousands of bad spirits that are everywhere you walk. They're walking with you. Come on, what do you want to do? Don't worry, I got friends that are going to block you from anything you want to do. That's just one time. How about the second time? And the third time? How about the 1 year? How about the 10 years? The guy's walking with an army of mezikin behind him of 10 years of not keeping the brit. Could you imagine? The hardship that the guy can have because of something like that? So when it gets to this time period, we want to activate anything that we can do to clean up the past. So the rabbis tell us, good tool for that, fasting. The rabbis tell us a good time to fast is every Monday and Thursday, from the morning till after Shkia, after you pray Arvit. So if you do that, it's Monday and Thursday times 6 weeks, 12 times. If you can't do it Monday and Thursday, you do one day. There's some people that fast since it's 6 weeks, one for each day. Sunday through Friday. Saturday we don't. Shabbat we don't fast. Why? For every sin that I did on Sunday, forgive me. For every sin I did on Monday, forgive me. For every sin I did on Tuesday, so on and so forth. So they do one a day. But the rabbis recommend Shani and Chamishi, Monday and Thursday, because it's a much better way. Now what's the concept? It's a much better, there's a much higher energy available on Monday and Thursday. Now, why fasting? The rabbis tell us, when you're tormenting the body that took the pleasure, he's saying, look, Kadosh Baruch Hu, I know I used my body to derive pleasure. Now I'm tormenting the same body that wanted pleasure. I'm taking away from it its pleasure by not eating, by not drinking. And the deeper meaning to fasting is what happens. Your body is burning fat and losing blood. The same thing that the korban would be on the altar. You burn the fat and the blood. So he said, look at me, I'm a human korban. I'm sacrificing myself today, the taken tabrit. So you fast. Another one is when during those weeks, no eating meat and no drinking wine. Meat and wine makes you happy. Don't do it. This is something I found out just today. Had I known, maybe I would have skipped out on a bunch. It's easy to do that, but it's okay.
We know for next year.
They say, even the feeling that you want to do is worth it. No eating meat and no eating wine during the time of Shovavim, but of course Shabbat as much as you want. Or they say, actually no. Let me rephrase that. I read it that no meat and wine opening up the fast. When you open up the fast, don't open the fast of Shovavim on meat and wine. But we can take it further and say no meat and wine the entire week, and just on Shabbat to, lehader.
Right. It's like Ben HaMetzarim.
Another big segula during this time, give tzedakah. Tzedakah awakens rachamim. Remember in Amidah we say tzedakah v'rachamim. Why do we say tzedakah v'rachamim? Because as soon as you give tzedakah, Hashem says, you have feelings of rachamim for a person that needs tzedakah, and you're giving tzedakah. If you have those feelings of rachamim, I have rachamim on you. So as soon as you give tzedakah, you're awakening the midat rachamim on Kadosh Baruch Hu, and He has mercy on you. In other words, look, Hashem, I'm giving tzedakah, help me, have mercy on me. They say that you should also try to learn extra. In other words, if you have a seder, you learn in the morning, you learn at night, you listen on your headphones, this and that. During the 6-week period, say, but during the time of Shovavim, I'm going to take this book and I'm going to read it for 5 minutes. And the 5 minutes I'm going to do in this book is going to be for the Tikkun of the Shovavim. In other words, you add something to your learning in order to do that. Another thing, they say to do a ta'anit dibur. 1 day of not talking. And how do you fill your whole day without talking? The rabbis recommend that you read Tehillim 3 times.
2 hours, no talking.
2 hours, 2 hours. Whatever you can do. Because the people cause you to talk. Okay, so those are some of the tools that we use for some of the tools that we can use during the time of Shovavim. Now, the process of the tikkun of the time of Shovavim, it's a 40-day process.
אבל לא, אתה מדבר עם עצמך עכשיו, נגיד, אתה חושב על משהו ואתה מדבר. כאילו...
שאלת רב, שאלת רב.
אני חושב בקול.
לא, רק דברי תורה. כל העניין זה של שתיקה, זה לא לדבר.
לא אתה יכול לדבר תורה באמצע
היית
השבוע.
עושה בודדות, אתה מדבר עם הקדוש ברוך הוא, מותר לך לדבר.
באמצע השבוע, נגיד אתה עושה, לא...
קורא משהו, קורא הכל בדברי תורה. זה שאתה...
We'll look it up. We have a few minutes left and we'll look it up. Okay, they said the time of the Shovavim is a 40-day process. What's another 40 thing that we know? Anytime you want to break something, a good habit, or if you want to attain a good habit, it takes 40 days to do that. For example, if you're lazy and you don't wake up to minyan, and you're sick of it, 5 years you're showing up to minyan late, you want to break that? The rabbis say, go to minyan on time, 40 days straight, you broke yourself. For any bad habit. I'd use the minyan, but I'm saying any bad habit. A 40-day cycle helps you. It helps you break out of a good habit or attain a good habit. Another thing,
A bad habit or attain.
right, to break a bad habit or to attain a good habit. Like for example, right now, if I want to do something good, if I do it 40 days straight in a row, that's it. It's part of me. It will never go away from me. It will never break. Like for example, something that is huge during the time of Shovavim, the ultimate Tikkun Habrit, Tikkun HaKlali. Tikkun HaKlali, 10 chapters of Tehillim that Rabbi Nachman from Breslev told us. Read these things. It's in all. It's in a cure-all, a remedy for everything. And people are saying right now, there was a group that Gedalia started not too long ago, with the group of people saying Tikkun HaKlali for 40 days. And the people that have started, that are getting closer now to the 40th day, you're not going to believe. You're not going to believe. Like, like those stories you hear in the newspaper and from friends, right here. I know about 3 people that are right now having incredible epiphanies from this Tikkun HaKlali. It's something that the rabbis recommend that you say even every day. Be'ezat Hashem, throughout the night, Michal is going to give us big insight into Tikkun HaKlali and all its merits. But this is a 40-day process. So they say, what's another thing of 40 days, or the number 40? The mikveh. The mikveh has what? 40 se'ah. What's 40 se'ah? It's basically the measurement. So they say that the 40-day process that we're going through with Shovavim, it's like a mikveh for the soul. It's a 40-day process that we're purifying the soul. So here's a few tips.
לא הבנתי, סליחה רגע, מה זאת אומרת לעשות מקווה 40 יום?
לא, זה כאילו...
זה כאילו עשינו מקווה לנשמה ב-40 יום.
יש 40.
So how can we be saved and protected from keri, from spilling seed? What are things that we could do? What are some good tips? And then at the end, I'll fill you in on the timeline. Okay? They say if a person wants to be saved from spilling his seed, linatzel mikeri, learn Torah. And there's nothing better than learning Torah. That's the be-all and the end-all of everything. You want to be saved from something, just study Torah. Another segula. You know, on Shabbat when we open up the Echaim, we say Berich Shemeh. Berich Shemeh with kavanah saves you from spilling your seed.
Save you from what?
Spilling your seed.
זרע לבטלה.
Zera lebatala.
לא שמעתי, לא הבנתי.
Being a sandak,
קרי.
being a godfather in a brit, also saves you from that. The rabbis tell us,
להיות סנדק.
להיות sandak. A person should eat all his motzi. You know, on Shabbat we have the motzi. You don't take a bite and put it down. Eat the whole thing. Also big segula to be...
מכה אחת?
לא, לגמור את זה, רק לגמור.
זה לא משנה אם אתה ממשיך, אתה אוכל ואתה...
כן, כל מה שזה, שאתה אוכל את כולו. Another segula to be saved from keri, raise an orphan. I don't know how many people... I don't know how many people can merit to do that, but you can imagine a person that takes upon himself to raise an orphan can get saved from the keri as well. To be the first 10 people in shul. If you're one of the first 10 of the first minyan, big segula also to be saved from that. a heartfelt tefillah, when you're praying tefillah with all your heart, and you're connecting geula la'amidah, right? Right before we start the Amidah, Baruch Atah Hashem, Gal Yisrael, Amonai Sefatai Tiftach. No break in between. Shamor v'Zachor, Shabbat. It's good to the big segula of the Shabbat candles of Shamor v'Zachor, also to be saved from it. Learning before you go to sleep is also a big segula to be saved from it. The rabbis also tell us to sleep on the left side. It's one of the halachot to begin with, where it says it's also a big segula to be saved from carrying. The last one is Shema Yisrael. Now what's don't worry, that's small. I won you today. Today I was on top of you. Or no matter what you got me at the end of the day, at the end of the night, I'm on top of you. And also it's a tov la'ikul. It's good for the digestion.
אתה יודע למה?
כי הכבד הוא חם.
הכבד יושב על הקיבה.
כן, והוא חם.
ואז, בגלל שהוא חם, הוא מזרז את הקיבה לשרוף מהר את הכל, שלא תשנים בגלל שאוכלים בשבת. בצורה, שים לב, בשבת אנחנו אוכלים לא כמו באמצע השבוע.
נכון, כפול.
אתה לא יודע מאיפה זה נכנס אפילו. אני לא יודע איפה זה נכנס, אבל הוא אוכל.
That's the second soul, זה הנשמה יתרה. גם היא צריכה לאכול.
אז הצד שמאל, הוא שורף לך יותר מהר, שים לב, גם בית כנסת, אבל אם תיסע אחרי אוכל, אתה הולך לישון, תראה, גזים, גרפסים, משחרר לך את כל הלחצים. למה? כי הקיבה היא שורפת הרבה יותר מהר, אז היא משחררת לך את כל הזה, ואז זה גם בריא יותר לישון ככה.
True. The last segula, and with this we will conclude, to be saved from spilling your seed, Shema Yisrael al Amita. One time Rabbi Dahan told me, he says, you want to know what Shema Yisrael is? He goes, imagine yourself like Rambo, put on the bandana, hold the gun, and you're going, you're like killing all the mezikin of the day. He says, the rabbis put together for us the Shema Yisrael, and the perakim and the psukim that are in there have such power that they're able to eliminate all the mazikin, or at least most of them, or some of them. Imagine you go to sleep, you forgot tomorrow, they're right there. Come on, come with me again. But if you go to sleep, at least you knock out some few, and tomorrow another few, you have a chance.
ולא בשכיבה.
לא בשכיבה.
אסור בשכיבה. לא, אתה יכול גם בישיבה.
שמעתי נראה לי...
לא, גם בישיבה. רק לא לשכב. הרבה מה עושים? בגלל שיודעים בעל פה. אנחנו יודעים לפעמים את הבעל פה. מה עושים?
השכיבה בצד שמאל, גם בצד שמאל?
כן.
בצד שמאל של המיטה?
לא, לא. צד שמאל שלך.
שמעתי בעמידה.
כן.
אפילו שזה...
נברר את זה בהלכה, למה? שזה יהיה חלק מהלימוד.
אני לא יושב.
אתה יושב באיזשהו שלב.
One last thing is this. Many people think that time is a timeline. Year 0, year 10, year 100, year 1000, year 2000, year 3000. That's not time. That's how the Goyim think. It's a timeline. Us Jews, we know that time is a time spiral. It's actually it's a 365-day circle that keeps going round and round, round and round, round and round. Now, each day has a power. And there's certain days that have more power than other days. And when that day comes around, we have to tap into that energy. I'll give you an example. Yom Kippur. What is Yom Kippur? The Day of Atonement. Why is it the Day of Atonement? Why is it the day that Hashem forgives us? Does anybody know? Because that's the day that Moshe Rabbeinu came down the second time, got forgiven. Yeah. Hashem said, I forgive you on Har Sinai. So on that day, Yud and Tishrei, because Hashem forgave Moshe Rabbeinu, every Yud Bet Tishrei, what do? We fast because we know that there's an energy for Hashem to forgive. So every time it comes around, Hashem is forgiving today. Forgive us, Hashem, forgive us, Hashem, forgive us. We know that's the power of that day. So there's other days in the year that have power, like Shabbat, Rosh Chodesh, Chagim, Shovavim. These are days there's segula for Panasa, segula for many different things. So right now, as time is turning, we are now in a block of time, a 6-week time where the pipes are very, very powerful for Tikkun Abrit. That's what we're in right now. And it's about to end. We have 2 days left. After that, come Monday or Tuesday, you're going to try to do whatever you want to do. Yeah, it's going to have a toilet. It's going to work. But nowhere close to what we're doing right now. Nowhere close. Be'ezrat Hashem, we would not need to next year. But next year, imagine when you get to the 6th week, man, do as much as you can. Study tzedakah, fast, this, that, clear up the pipes. Because what you're doing here is times 1,000. Like when we study on Shabbat. If I study right now, 1 hour is equals 1 hour. How many 1 hour studies in Shabbat? And some say 1,000 hours for 1 hour of study. You like that?
Shabbat.
Yeah. I'll give you an example.
No, I mean,
I'll give you an example. If Bank of America told you you have 25 hours to go into the vault, 25 hours to go into the vault and take as much as you want, whatever you want. During those 25 hours, would you go to the beach? Would you play basketball? Would you take a nap? Where would you be? You would be in Bank of America taking as much as you want. Why? It's a special time. That's Shabbat. That's Shabbat. 25 hours, take as much as you can. It's by the thousands.
Yep.
That's Shovavim. That's Chagim. These are times that are super powerful. Take as much as you can during that time, because the next day, it's 1 for 1.
מה הפירוש של שובבים? אני לא הייתי פה.
נסביר לך עוד דקה. So this is the time right now that is the most powerful time for the Brit. In a few, our next main event is Shabbat. אין כמו Shabbat. The next main event, Chodesh Adar. Rosh Chodesh. Big things you can activate in the Rosh Chodesh. Big. After that, Purim. Wow, Purim. Kippurim. Huge. So we have more main events coming up. But the main event today is Shovavim. So let's take advantage of it. And Be'ezrat Hashem, we shall merit to have a big tikkun. All of us and for all Am Yisrael. Hashem baruch atkam v'sameach.
מה זה שובבים?
תסביר לנו.